Right, so let's continue where we left off. We'll take these back off. The reason I use the pliers is kind of hard to reach in here for some of them, so it's actually easier to tighten them up with the pliers, and that's why they were kind of not that loose, but I think they'll come out easier now. So anyway, I'll take this one off and let's weld this guy up, and then we can maybe do a real test on this thing. I'm telling you what's going on right now. Gonna be doing some work on the oval window here very soon. Still waiting on Dale on the Carmagia. A little bit's been done on that. We'll have some videos coming up soon on that. Part of the reason I'm not working on the oval window is because I've been working on this car, so this has been taking up a lot of my time still. I think I've got this all nailed down. The issue I had was code P299, which is the turbo boost not being met, and there was actually a hairline crack in one of the tubes from changing the engine. Such a pain. But I think I've got that all worked out. It's been code free now it's gone through all the readiness checks. If you know what that is, that means it's gone through all the checks, and it doesn't find any faults. That means it's gone through EGR test and all this other stuff, and it finds no faults. So, but it's only got 100 miles. I've only put almost 100 miles on it since then. So once I know that this is resolved and I don't have to keep putting it up on the lift, because every time I work on this car I have to put it up on the lift, so I've been leaving that available, then I can clean that whole area out over there and start working on the oval window over there. So that's why I've been just continuing on with this thing. I've been kind of working on this because it's always a parts wait for the white car. I order something, wait 2 weeks, put on a part. You know, it's just a long drawn out process. Even considered just buying another car, but if you look at the price of used cars right now, it's just not doable at all. But it's not really a big deal. It just takes time, and time I have very limited amount of that. So anyway, that's why we're continuing on with this thing. We've been just kind of pushing this thing along. I also need to put this up on the lift and paint underneath, so that I don't know if I'll get that in this video. I kind of want to get that done and paint all this underneath and have this all ready so that I can put this lift on here, and then I can just move this sucker out of the way. It would be nice to have this thing mobile again, because it's really a pain to have laying around. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with painting the rest of the stuff. I might just brush and roll it or something. I don't even know. But yeah, I still got that to do. So, but I'm just going to focus in on getting this thing operational. I don't know if I'll get the wiring done or whatever before I put it on the truck. I'm not sure on that, but at least I'll have continue on with this thing while I'm messing with the car. It just makes sense for me to work on this, and I'm going to get this out of the way. Then I've got a bunch of other things to do as well. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and fiddle around with this thing, make it go up and down a few times. I'm trying to get it to start working better. I tried going left and right once, and something's really locked up in there, so I don't know what's going on with that. I actually was able to move the boom, so I know it's not the bearing, like that. It's like the rams are just stuck. So anyway, we'll play around with it. Let's see what happens. So keep you guys over in the sidelines and so you don't get hurt. Alright, I just got bold and just went for it. I went and it took it all the way up. Look. There it is. It goes all the way up. That's it. As high as it goes. It's a little scary though, because it gets like really sideways, and I'm worried about the high top weight. I don't know, I'll let you guys hang out. Let's hang out and see how it goes down. Alright, so we got it off the stands. Let's try it now. Well, that wasn't so bad, really. Once off those stands, it's just being on those stands and moving around, it rolls around and then it wants to fall off of them. It looks like it'll just work fine like that. Go up and down all I want, and it won't be an issue. So, alright, so let me lower it back down. Alright, let's take the basket up a little bit higher. Down one higher. Oh, so did you guys see that? That was cool. Hopefully it turned out in the video. I got it to rotate. That's the first time I've gotten it to rotate, you guys. First time. I tried it before and it was like it was frozen or something, or just got stuck. And it was kind of scary because I didn't know how much it was going to tilt it. But having it on the ground, I was a little more confident to try rotating it. And it worked. I'm surprised, because it was like it would just click and then you just hear nothing, and I guess it's just waiting for the hydraulic fluid to fill it up and all that. So I've got to stop and check the hydraulic fluid here in a minute just to make sure it's didn't work itself down low, because it's been filling up all the cylinders. Let's talk about some of the things that are going on here. Alright, so I did find there is a leak on this cylinder here, the long one. It's leaking a little bit. Not too bad, but you can see the fluid right here. A few drips down on the ground. So, and the ones, the outriggers, I don't see any leaks on those yet. And I don't know what's going on with that. Like I said, I just operated it now, so maybe after we operated it for a while back and forth, it'll start leaking too. There's some wetness down here, but that's, I think, all from that was loose. I was loosening those up to try them in the first run. I was loosening them up and then retightening them, trying to get hydraulic fluid in there. It just, I don't know, it's just the way it works. It takes longer for it to get to this one than the others. I don't know. It's just that it seemed like this one here is the slowest one to react because it's furthest away from the pump, I suppose. But so there's no leaks here. I don't see any leaks. I don't think I see any leaks on any of the joints anywhere. So anyway, that's it for that. But boy, that was one heck of a clunk when that thing started to go. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was like, yeah, it was pretty sketchy when it was going side to side. I was like, I think it's going to go this way, but then I was worried that if I got it to go one way, that I wouldn't be able to get it to go back, because the other way it didn't feel like it was going to go. But I don't know, the circuits or whatever, maybe the valve, this valve here might have been sticking a little bit or something, and finally it just broke loose and started working. Was successful the second time I went and welded this. I did it once, and then I welded it again, and it doesn't leak now, so that's good. I guess the only other question is does it, when I raise it up, and I'm thinking it does it just stay there if I disconnect the lines? I think if I turn off the hydraulics and I use the quick disconnect, because it has these quick disconnects on here. They didn't put these on here for fun. So, okay, and I think once you raise it up all the way and then turn the valve inside, that there's no longer pressure on those. So that'd be interesting to know if that works. So that would be kind of an interesting deal. I don't know, it could squirt hydraulic fluid all over the place. Let's just try it, see what happens. All right, check it out. It's up in the air. Okay, see, it's all the way up. And you can disconnect these. So yeah, the single cab comes right off of the truck. Or the lift comes right off the single cab. Crazy. Now, I don't know, I wouldn't touch those. I'm not going to touch any of those buttons. But, so you can unplug it over there, the electrical, then you just unplug these. Alright, so they have these quick releases here. And all they are is just, you can see there's like coarse threads and you can just twist it. Let's put these things back on. And then there's shut-off valves inside there. So the fluid doesn't even leak out. It actually worked flawlessly. I was like pretty surprised. Right, so the best part about that is that now I know I can start this thing up now, and it needs the engine running to bring it back down. Because remember, it has to actually pump fluid. Let's look at this. So what it does is it pumps fluid on either side of the hydraulic cylinder. So you got a piston in here, right? It goes up and down. So to raise it, you have to pump fluid on this side of the piston. And then it releases fluid on this side of the piston back into the system. So there's like a two-way valve in there. So once it releases all the fluid back into the system, then it actually has to pump fluid into here to bring the outrigger back up. So these are two-way cylinders. This one here, this is a one-way cylinder. See, it only has one in the end, and it pushes it outward and then pushes it back. So it has like a dust seal on the outside, and then it has a piston inside, and that piston is right now bypassing. So that should be very hard. That should be a very easy cylinder to rebuild. And just getting it off, you know what that's going to be like, right? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'll just stay leaking. I'm not sure. For now, at least. We'll worry about that later. I'm going to throw a rag down there. Just let it soak up. It's really not that much. So if it gets worse, I'll probably rebuild it. It might be a little bit difficult to find the parts. They might be some weird size that nobody has or something. But so the engine has to be running for these to go back up, because it has to pump fluid to the other side and release it from this side. So it does both at the same time when the engine's running only. So I suppose it might gravity. So if I hit the solenoids right now without the engine on, it might gravity feed, do the same thing, a little bit of it, but it's only going to go down so far. It would probably go all the way to the ground slowly, but when it's on the single cab, these are not touching the ground, so they have to be pumped back up into place by the fluid pushing them upward. So anyway, that's how it works. Cool. Yeah, so the plan is now, the thing that's cool is I still have to do work underneath the single cab, right? I got to go under there and rust treat everything and finish up underneath, just black paint it and all that. So when I'm done with all that, I'll just hook up these long hydraulic lines, and maybe I'll just leave the long ones on. It'd be kind of neat because you can just do all kinds of stuff with it then. And then I'll just put these long hydraulic lines on it and then pump it back up and get it up off the ground like it is right now. And then I'll just back the single cab underneath it, which is going to be a cool video there, right? Back the single cab underneath it, and then disconnect it, back the single cab up underneath it, and then reconnect it and lower it down onto the truck and raise up the outriggers, and then bolt it on the way it was supposed to be made, so that you could take it on and off the truck. That was what I've read on this a while back. It's been a while since I don't remember all the details of it, and I think it was translated into English from German, so it's a little loose. But anyway, let's bring it back down and go from there. Alright, well, we got everything covered up, and I went ahead and sprayed this last night off camera. Get all the black done under here. Shot everything that was rusty with the rust inhibited primer, or with the with the rust converter. Fixed these tubes up here that were not there. Put all these in here. What I usually do is on these is I'll just weld them up, whatever, and then I'll just wrap them in foil tape. It's just ducting, so it doesn't matter if it's like perfectly welded. So there's some voids in here and stuff, and I just wrap them with foil tape and then cover this whole thing with some insulator, pipe insulator, and then the heater can work. I can't really do that after put the monster thing on it. And because there's so much weight movement back here, I put these Bilsteins on here. I figure that's about the best thing you can do for that, right? Because as the, it's like a sail on there, that big mast wants to go back and forth, so it makes it sway, but stiffer suspension will, as it rebounds, will go up slower, so it won't want to do that as much. So that'll probably help some of that. It really feels weird, but they were telling me, guys who've driven these, there's only a few guys who have, and one of them's Charlie, and he was telling me, hey man, it drives like a sail. It's weird. It's like a sailboat. So anyway, got that stuff done. I'm gonna unmask it here and get ready to do some other things on this. We've got good old Mr. Crane out here. He's hunting lizards. He just got one a minute ago. He eats them like a fish. He just swallows the whole thing down. You can tell he's creeping on something, isn't he? He walks and he starts moving his neck like a snake, and then all of a sudden he just grabs it and watches him get one. Alright, talk to you guys later. One of the things I didn't mention last time, I forgot, is that I fixed this. So this thing works now. And then I put this rubber piece here back on. This is the original one. Cleaned it, put it on there. Let's take a look a little closer. There you go. Alright, so I'm working on my daisy chain here, or these are the relay chain. So this goes inside that box. Remember, one side's going to be 6 volts, so I have one of these things here. That's a 12 to 6, 10 amps. So I don't think we'll be past 10 amps. I'm pretty sure. If I did, I could use 2 of these and run them in parallel, and I think that would do it. That'd give me 20 amps, because it would take the load and run it through 2 of those to run it parallel. So what I got here is, if you look here, it says out is the yellow one here, in is the red. So I got the out going to one side of all of the relays, okay? So, and then I've got a daisy chain ground going along here. Alright, so because remember, what comes from the switch is coming down. It's going to be positive, so you're going to push the button, and positive is going to go to the yellow wire on each one of these here. So the yellow wire, when the yellow wire and the ground connect, now it's going to bring 6 volts to the other side, and the 6 volts is going to be coming out of this red wire, because it's going to go through the black one, through this thing here, through the black wire, and they're going to be coming out the red wire when this is connected. Okay, and that's going to give me 6 volts to the solenoids. So there it is. That's simple. It's a very simple circuit. There's really nothing to it. And power to this. Well, actually, I actually need 2 of these. I was just thinking about that. Because remember, 2 of these relays are going to be to the, I can run just one of them, but I need to have, then I'll have to run 6 volts through one of the switches, and that's possible. I could do it either way. It's a little bit trickier than that, but this is going to go to the hot that comes through one of the switches. That actually, the 6 volt side won't matter. It's only the 12 volt side where it goes up. So no, that's fine. I already had figured this out, and I was second guessing. So 12 volts is going to go through here to supply the other side of the relay. So 12 volts is going to go up to the switchboard up here, and we got power on here. So it's either going to be this one or that one, right? Power on, down, power on, up. Okay, so there's going to be one side that goes through that one switch to here, and then one side that goes through the other switch on the boom to here, or vice versa. I just don't know how I'm going to do that yet, but if you see what I'm saying, this part's fine. This is going to work just the way it is. I just need to make sure that when I bring my power up, one of them is going to go through one place, so I'll have 2 hot leads up here. All right, got it. All right, so anyway, we're going to go ahead and post this video here and let you guys, I don't know when I'm going to get on this thing next. Might be a little few days, so I figured that kind of fun to watch the boom go up and down for the first time, or go side to side. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see your comments on that, and look forward to getting that single cab underneath this thing and make it actually work. Kind of neat to watch the single cab go all the way off the ground, right? I think it goes off the ground. It might not go all the way, but pretty close.